Good afternoon. Call this meeting order. Finance Committee, December the 1st, 2025. Commissioner Hughes will lead us in the pledge, and Commissioner Collins will say the blessing. If you would, please stand.
Pray. Heavenly Father, we're thankful for today. We're thankful for pray that our hearts would be gratitude. Wise in our decisions and thoughtful.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic and
All right, thank you very much. Going to our agenda, we'll go over to the mayor. Mayor Davis should recognize.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, everyone. I don't have a credit card report this month, but I assure you we are still tracking it. I just don't have it because it's first of the month. I don't know if it's appropriate or not, Commissioner Alford. We have some information on the parks questions that came up in your last meeting. If I could go ahead and share those with you.
Please.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Because it's really a finance question anyway. We did get more, I guess you would say, accurate estimates looking at the ball field on Eureka Road. To do the 4 infields is an estimate of $1,149,000. So it's about $275,000 a field. And then also, we are in the process of applying for a grant that we're in the middle of a grant round for parks. That's a 50-50 match. If, of course, we won't know until late summer on that, but if we were to be awarded the grant, we could get a 50-50 on a grant. I'm not sure how much they'll be awarding and how competitive it is, but we haven't applied for one in a few years now, but we do have that possibility. So those 2 pieces of information for you all to think about. Okay. That's all I have unless someone has something for me.
Mr. Alford?
Estimate from?
Who is the estimate from? Let's see. Baseline Sports Construction, LLC, out of Knoxville.
Eureka Road only?
Yeah, we just got it to do those 4 fields, assuming we did that first. But you can probably use that. It's based on square footage, but assuming that all of the infields are approximately the same size, you could use that times however many fields you wanted to look at. So roughly $275 a field. And that's for everything, the drainage, the stone, and everything that goes in.
Thank you.
Okay?
But would it be somewhat accurate that Bradley North is going to be a little bit more challenging? It's more of a, no? It's more of a swamp.
Eureka Road is the worst of all of them.
It's the
That's what I
most
said,
needed,
Bradley
yeah,
North.
because of that. It's needed the most.
That's what I said. Bradley North is going to.
And we
a little bit
would
more challenging.
probably close it down, so to speak, for the season while it was being done, as opposed to the other one would be a lot harder to do.
All right, so that's the starting point. We got some numbers now.
Right, and I also got, of course, I got it before these estimates came out, but you'd also talked about amortization. We were looking at 800,000 then, which was 200 a field, so it's 1.1 million now. But and I didn't bring that with me, but you would probably need to do it over 10 years to keep it in line with the amount you're spending out of HCI now. It was 7 or 8 years at the previous amount, but probably 10 now. And what they would do, in talking to Cumberland, it really wouldn't be a bond issue, but they would put it out to bid to all banks to see who provided the least percentage of interest. So it would be sold similarly, except it'd be sold to banks for a loan. That's sort of what you had asked for there.
No, it wouldn't. That's going to bring up some challenges, though, because that has to be paid out of debt service. Well, I guess we'd move the money from HCI over to debt at the right time.
We would do it like the auditors wanted us to do anyway.
Yeah.
You know, they don't like us paying the way we do. So, yeah, it would be in debt service, but it would be a transfer from HCI every year to pay that debt.
All right, so, well, Commissioner Alford, when you call your ad hoc committee, that'll be good info for
I lost my train of thought of what I was gonna say there. 'cause
Well, I
don't
mean, that takes, I was a little, the HCI 189 paying the debt, obviously you just have to move it over,
right,
or-
well, we do that with others.
yeah.
It's how we used to do that one, but we wanted to take it out of debt service that one
Yeah.
year, and auditors always fuss about it, but,
Yeah.
so we would just do it the way they want us to. That's not a problem there.
No,
And we've got the HCI issue coming up in your budget amendments too, so
yeah, that's gonna be good. I like that.
that's all I have unless.
That's all,
someone-
you have anything?
That's that one field. Did he get an estimate on all 18?
No, that's what I'm saying. As far as applying for the grant or looking at how much you wanted to borrow, I think
I know, I
you
got it.
would be fairly accurate to take that 275 and multiply it times however many fields. So it'd be
Because
times 18.
The ones out on Urbane won't be that high as the ones on Eureka, because Eureka is, I'm telling you, the problem there is water.
Yeah, that's what I
It's
thought.
gonna be higher, Eureka Road will be a lot higher than the Urbane roads, I think. That's why I was gonna ask and see.
Uh,
But
I
anyway,
don't
I'll
know, but-
get with Andy, we'll see if we can come up with something.
All right, thank you, Mayor. So, is that, that's all you have?
Yes.
All right. No questions for the mayor. Moving on, budget amendments, we'll get to those. First budget amendment is from Bradley County Mayor's Office, $400. He's traveling. Do I have a motion to accept the amendment as presented? I have a motion from Commissioner Slater. I have a second from Commissioner Hughes. Any further discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Passes 5-0. Going on. All right. You're not gonna let me get away with it, are you? Next budget amendment, decreasing the fund balance. Remember, we're going from, a different fund here. This is 192, HCI, which we were just talking about. 273,000 coming out of the fund balance and going into expense line. Motion to accept the amendment as presented. I have a motion from Commissioner Slater. I have a second from Commissioner Collins. Mayor Davis, you want to speak to this?
That is the approximate payoff. We have 2 more payments, I believe. So when it comes time to make that payment, we would get the payoff. And while I think of it, Caleb, if this is approved, and it won't be actually approved until the 15th, you need to call and get the payoff today, not wait till that payment is due. Does that make sense? That would save interest. So by doing this amendment, we should have enough money there to pay off the library note that is paid out of the HCI.
So, yeah, and technically, the city owns the bond. They own the debt.
Right.
We're just 50-50 with them. So if they take the money and don't pay off the debt, it's on them.
Right.
All right. So we have a motion and we have a second. Any further discussions? Commissioner Alford. I thought I saw your hand there. You good? Okay, I want to make sure. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Passes 5-0. Mayor, if it helps, I'll be happy to pull this one and take it tonight. If your 14 days makes the difference.
Well, it should make a little difference on the interest. What
Well, I'll
they
tell
do
you-
is when it's due, they send us a bill, here's how much principal and how much interest, so it should save us some on the interest.
When Lori gets back, I'll ask her to remind me to, we'll do this amendment tonight. Because I think it's a really good thing. So I appreciate you bringing that.
And this is coming out of the fund balance of HCI and made possible because of the fact that you're not spending all you could have spent.
Last year, and
Right.
we'll see what happens here in a second.
It's
Or-
getting rid of some debt, and then it opens it up. If you do the other later on, you have that ability there.
Very good. All right, moving on to the next budget amendment, finance, he is decreasing revenue and is increasing it. This is reclassification revenue per the audit recommendations, our friends up in Nashville, apparently. $334,503, and this is all in the general fund.
Can I say something here? You're
Let me
going to
get a
start.
motion in a second real quick, Mayor, and I'll
Okay,
get to
sorry.
you. I have a motion from Commissioner Alford. I have a second from Commissioner Slater. Mayor Davis?
You've already done some like these, and Caleb understands it, but it's changing. When you look in your revenues and you compare revenues, it's making it all lumped in one line, which,
Which
yeah, that
is,
makes it easier for auditors, but it makes it harder from what we've been used to using. You know, we may have been comparing jail booking fees over the years. Well, you can no longer do that. It's gonna all be lumped in one line. And they're asking us to do this on 3 or 4,
can we say
different
no?
situations. So do it.
Can we tell them?
Well,
no?
we could, but
I mean-
it's, I guess you would say, a good thing to do what they suggest.
I mean, they're making it harder to know how the money is coming in.
That's
I mean,
my
they're
perspective.
getting more abstract. Usually, auditors are just the opposite. They want more detail. They want more granular. But not our auditors. But Caleb, you have to deal with them. Yeah. But it's all right. So it's interesting how they're making us do or asking for this to be done mid-budget year instead of point at the next. Is there any others?
They're just moving those out of that one because those revenue accounts that they're in right now, they're technically special revenue or extraordinary revenue. So they're really not what we use them for.
Are they being zeroed out?
Yeah, they're zeroed out.
So inmate revenue, jail booking fees, commissary. I mean,
All that money will be moved over into that new one.
Other local revenue.
their local revenue. So if we were asking Sheriff Lawson, hey, Sheriff Lawson, how much do you project you do with commissioner? No, can't even speak. All right, commissary. Sorry, I'm getting all mixed up. Thinking of commission. He wouldn't really know.
He might would know, and Caleb could probably get you the number, but it's just not gonna show in your reports. It's all
Right.
gonna be lumped in one line item.
I can split it out. It just makes my
Yeah, it
job-
puts more work on you.
Yeah.
The auditors don't care. Huh? Well, they're gonna like me here at audit committee, aren't they? What's that? Yeah. I say no. Don't do it. Who wants to make a motion on this? Did we? Well, dang. Caleb, how would you keep track of, I mean, commissary, let's go through 'em. Drug court fees, delinquent tax collection, sale of delinquent tax property. Okay, I can give you that one. Cash bond fees, attorney fees. That's not much. I mean,
I can break it out in that revenue
Look,
account.
commissary is 130,000,
Yeah. That
and you'll never know if Sheriff Lawson is making those numbers or not.
that other local revenue will be huge now, adding all those in there. But I can, there's a thing called cost centers where I can split it out further than just this account. And you can see it in there, each one split out. But like I said, it's gonna make more work on me.
I have a motion and I have a second. Any further discussion? Any? Good, Mayor?
It won't affect you all as much as me. When it comes budget time and I'm looking to project revenues, that's when it will be an issue. But again, I think we need to do it to keep them happy, but it will make it, the first year especially, because I won't have an apples to compare to. I'll have to, Caleb, what about this one? You know, why is this one, you know, that kind of stuff. But it won't affect you all that much unless you're looking at the report and trying to compare.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say, you have a,
Just a question,
Please.
Caleb, is this something state mandated or the audit mandated, or who's mandating us to do this?
It was something audit was wanting done.
Just the audit people, though?
Yeah.
Not the state?
As far as I know, it's just something they want, the auditors.
Does it make their job a lot easier?
Yeah.
That's what
Usually.
Makes it look more right on their end.
that's my point. Kinda like you, Mr. Blake, I'm kinda in the same boat you are. I don't see why we need to do it. It's a state mandated thing.
Yeah, but ask schools what they would do if they were suggesting it. They would do it. I have no doubt. Uh,
So they're making you go to more abstract lines. Well, let's just call it one big happy bucket, general fund.
Yeah.
I mean, why even have line items? All right. Second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Pose? Me. So it's 4. You're voting no? I say so. Commissioner Hughes?
I think I'm gonna join you and say no.
Oh, there we go. Commissioner Slater? Yes?
I'm a yes. For
So-
Caleb. To keep.
All right, so it fails for lack of a vote. Very good. Moving on to the next budget amendment. Finance, $9,250. You're decreasing the fund balance and you're putting it into other local health services. This is allocation of opioid abatement funds for the Foundation House Ministry. Oh, these are going to be your opioid that we already think. Can we take these up as a package? They're all coming up here, I think, right, Lori? 6, 7, 8, and 9. Is that all the opioids? All right, we'll take those all up together. We kind of already pre-approved them when we did the opioids last month. So I have a motion to accept the to page 8. I'm sorry, page 9. I have a motion from Commissioner Hughes. I have a second from Commissioner Alford. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Passes 5-0. All right. Next one is on page 10, finance. He is decreasing his expenses and increasing his decreasing expenses. So he's basically moving from. Oh, this is legal services. This is a deductible. Do I have a motion to accept the amendment? I have a motion from Commissioner Slater. I have a second from Commissioner Collins. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Passes 5-0. And there you see the check. All right, very good. Sticking with finance, he's decreasing the expenses of $1,000. He's increasing, this is also legal. So I have a motion to accept the amendment as presented. I have a motion from Commissioner Slater. I have a second from Commissioner Alford. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Passes 5-0. Page 14, decrease in expenses. And this is commission. This is also legal service of $292.50. I have a motion to accept the amendment from Commissioner Alford. I have a second from Commissioner Collins. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Passes 5-0. And there you see the check. Takes us to page 19. This is from Tri-State. Tri-State wants to move money from their fund balance. Remember, you're in Fund 124 here, and put it into principal of other loans. So, Mayor, they don't have to pay their debt out of 151? They can.
No, this is their
Their-
debt. It's not the county's
Yeah, yeah.
debt that they're wanting to pay
But
off.
it's,
They've accumulated sufficient funds in their fund balance above what we budget for them, and they're asking to take some of that fund balance that is above and beyond what's required and give it to them so they can get themselves out of debt. Remember a few years ago, they borrowed some money
yeah,
for
yeah.
an arena
I just
or
didn't know that they could pay their own debt like that.
Yeah,
But it's not ours, so it doesn't have to come out of 151 because he's keeping it in his fund.
right.
All right. I have a motion to accept the amendment as presented. I have a motion from Commissioner Slater. I have a second from Commissioner Alford. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Passes 5-0. That's very good that they're getting their debt down. Excuse me. Circuit Court Clerk, she is decreasing reserve amount and increasing her expenses accordingly. And this is for data processing. Do I have a motion to accept the amendment as presented? I have a motion from Commissioner Slater. I have a second from Commissioner Collins. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed say no, passes 5-0. Moving over to the EMA Director, Troy Spence, and he is decreasing his revenue, increasing expenses.
Increasing revenue.
He's increasing, I apologize, I got used to saying decrease. So it's money coming in, $2,952. Sale of equipment. Do I have a motion to accept the amendment as presented? I have a motion from Commissioner Hughes. I have a second from Commissioner Alford. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Passes 5-0. Moving on to the next budget amendment. You see on page 24, misdemeanor, decreasing expenses, increasing it, staying in the same account. He's just moving from one line to another of $10,000. Do I have a motion to accept the amendment? I have a motion from Commissioner Hughes. I have a second from Commissioner Collins. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Passes 5-0. EMS, he's increasing his revenue, increasing his expenses, so it's money coming in, $3,126, and he's putting it in $499. I chatted with Adam real quick the other day. They've already, this is for services rendered for EMS, kind of like we do for the deputies, but they've already been paid out, so all's good. So I have a motion from Commissioner Hughes. I have a second from Commissioner Collins. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Passes 5-0. There you see the invoice and the check. Bradley County Sheriff's Office, increase in revenue, increase in expenses, so it's $20,000 coming in. Maintenance, kinds of unforeseen items happen throughout the facility. I have a motion to accept the amendment from Commissioner Alford. I have a second from Commissioner Slater. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Passes 5-0. Takes us to page 30. Sticking with the Sheriff's Office, of a whole whopping $45. Increase in revenue, increase in expenses. Do I have a motion to accept the amendment as presented? I have a motion from Commissioner Collins. I have a second from Commissioner Alford. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Passes 5-0. There you see the check. Going to page 32. Increase in revenue, increase in expenses of $250, and this is a donation. Do I have a motion to accept the amendment as presented? I have a motion from Commissioner Alford. I have a second from Commissioner Hughes. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Passes 5-0. Takes us to page 34. Also increase in revenue, also increase in expenses of $57,525. And you see that she has it itemized. This is for the traffic safety grant. I think this is a yearly grant that they get. So kind of late, I think. But anyway, all right. I have a motion to accept the amendment as presented from Commissioner Slater. I have a second from Commissioner Hughes. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Passes 5-0. And there you see all that wonderful documentation that she puts in there. That should be it, right? Very good. All right, that concludes all of the budget amendments. Going back to our agenda. I lost it. Item A, opioid fund proposals. Mayor, this I think is just real easy. Last month when we did the awarding for some of them, we were going to ask them to resubmit their proposals. Was that going to be done by Bentley, or who was going to own that? Or
I would, I know I've gotten
he has
one.
to send the report to the state.
I would, if Lori doesn't mind, I would suggest that, I think she's contacted them about coming in and doing their proposals with us. If she would just send one to them, asking them to update based
Alright.
on the amount that was awarded, and that way that will give Bentley the accurate report he needs.
All right, so Lori, if you don't
Is
mind.
that all right, Lori? The Caring Place is already submitted, so if you could send one to the others. Okay.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Lori. All right, so that takes care of item A. Item B, HCI committee funding recommendations, see page 2. So the HCI committee has finished up their work and they made their formal recommendation, and you have that on page 2. Let's go over here to page 2. Tilt my head. All right. Yeah. Hopewell, this is what they came up with. These are all of the applicants. I gotta read it like this because the computers,
Flip it.
it won't turn over. Oh, here it is.
Find the button.
Yeah. Hopewell Elementary, I'll just go down the organization and the request and the committee recommendation. Hopewell Elementary, they requested $12,190.36, and the committee is recommending full award of $12,190.36 for Hopewell. And Charleston Elementary, they requested $22,000. Committee recommended 0. Tri-State Writing Center requested $24,000 and fully funded at $24,000. Michigan Avenue School requested $25,000 and the recommendation is $20,000. Candies Creek Elementary requested $28,000 and the committee recommended $20,000. CARES $35,538, fully funded at $35,538. City Fields requested $40,000 and the committee is recommending $11,900. Waterville Elementary $40,000 and the committee is recommending $30,000. Bradley County Fire AEDs $43,400 and committee is recommending $43,400. Bradley County Health Department requested $78,000 and the committee recommended 0. Life Bridges requested $91,196 and the committee is recommending $91,196. Boys and Girls Club $100,000 and the committee is recommending $50,000. Museum requested $107,733.40 and the committee recommended 0. Public Education on behalf of Arnold, $135,000 and the committee recommended fully funding at $135,000. So the total request was $782,000 and the recommendation is $473,224, which is that difference there is kind of what we're using. But they had money from last year as well, so keep that in mind. $473,224. So our job today is to get together and either accept this fully or not at all, or somewhere in the middle, and make a formal recommendation to the full commission tonight. So I'll put this at open floor, and anybody wants to be recognized, you're recognized. Commissioner Slater.
So how much money was left from last year that wasn't spent?
It was, I think it was a little over 200,000.
But I do have a couple more questions.
Please.
Number one, on the agencies that were not funded fully, how did the committee arrive at the number that they did?
Mr. Chairman, if you want to, yeah, you can come up. Paul, you need to come up to the microphone.
Last year's out, but anyway, the three, the health department, okay, didn't demonstrate that they were going to provide any services they don't already provide. They also didn't provide any laboratory backup, and quite frankly, they're working off adult TennCare fees. There's no lab that I'm aware of that will partner with them, and they didn't have any long-term maintenance. So it was these three that weren't funded, no one even made a motion to vote on them. They were that far off the reservation, okay? All right, second one was Charleston was fencing. State of Tennessee, I believe, and y'all would know more about this stuff than I would, requires 4-foot fencing for security, okay? Which I can't quite figure out because I can jump over 4 feet at my age, so I'm not sure how that provides security. Under Safe Schools Initiative of the state of Tennessee, nobody even made a motion. They thought that's the county to provide security for that. And then the other one was, tell me the third one, Sorry. What was the other one? What was it? Museum Center didn't have anything in their application at all other than give us the money. They didn't say anything about health, wellness, anything, which in the past it has been funded because they came up with an excellent application that funded school kids and education and this type of thing. This one didn't have anything in it. The reason that there's partial funding on the schools, and this is on me, is there was a lot of movement to not fund those. And I actually went out and did site visits of what the schools want to do with the money. And so I felt like I guess you'd say the committee went along with me on the idea, let's partner with the local PTO. So if they want 25, let's give them 20 and let's let them raise 5. So they have skin in the game on that. And everybody, all these were unanimous votes once we got through the discussion. We had nothing that wasn't unanimous. And so you had 3 not considered. There was another partial funding, the Boys Club. We also felt like, and listen to you guys, there's going to be some other stuff on the horizon coming down the path. It's going to be beside the library money, this thing on Eureka and stuff. There's going to be a couple of big hits is what we were hearing. Am I maybe incorrect on that? And so we accumulated, I talked to Mike Smith, and the money that we accumulated last year, of course, draws more interest, and this year we'll do the same. So we've kind of built up a little bit of extra money. And I think we have, Lori, am I correct, 3 years on the library? 1 more year. So we'll make this payment, next payment, and then 27.
But we just,
26, 20,
Paul, we just voted to eliminate that debt.
do you eliminate it?
Yep.
Okay. And am I hearing that there's, just so guys know, is there this ball field deal and everything, Eureka, is there going to be, with the Boys Club, is there going to be a big request at some point come down the path? Or am I hearing that wrong when you were talking about it?
I mean, right now we're in the decision-making stage, we'll call it that, of what to
Okay.
do, but that doesn't affect what HCI, your committee does.
So anyway, basically the 3 that weren't funded, nobody even made a motion to consider them. The applications were, I hate to call them weak because everybody puts a lot of effort into them, you know what I mean? But they didn't fit the bill for the marching orders that we have under the court order.
The 3
Okay.
that were not funded at all, in
Yes.
their initial proposal, did they, and I will use your words, meet the marching orders in the,
I'm glad you asked that, okay? Because I'm wanting to change how we do it, and there's no, I'm working on this deal coming in, guys, and I don't know much about how county works, okay? So I apologize, and I hope I don't give Mike Hughes heartburn because he's the one that got me into this. But I'm trying to change this thing where it's a little more fair. I'm hoping in January there is no first round from now on because these people know how to make an application, all right? They make an application, and I feel like we lead them on a little bit by accepting it. So the acceptance process is so loose. You know, if you're anywhere in the ballpark, then the committee feels like they have to accept them. I'm wanting to change that where you submit an application, it's reviewed by the committee, and we vote. Because, I mean, I get the feeling that people think, well, you took my application, then I must have been okay. And then we get to the meeting, and everybody just tears it apart. Is that making sense?
mm-hmm.
And I'd like to change that. So, yes, but the first hurdle is so low a bar as to not mean much, in my opinion. Okay? So,
And the one you didn't comment on was City Fields. They requested 40,000 and you all granted 11,900.
yeah, because this has to be capital expenses under the court order. You can't do
No.
operating expenses, okay, under the stuff that the county commission set up. I pulled all this. Well, Lori pulls it. She does all the work, not me.
And theirs was,
But anyway.
theirs was operating?
There's a lot of that was operating, and it wasn't capital expenses, which according, and I checked with the IRS and with Tommy Arundale, and we checked around, and IRS is a little fishy on capital expenses, but it has to be something that's gonna last 2 years or more, 2 or 3 years, and things they wanted were like seed and wheelbarrows and things that nobody on the committee thought were capital expenses. So we funded everything, that probably was my motion, but funded everything that was capital expense on city fields. And last year, we funded capital expenses on city fields. We're also trying to make sure we're not a stipend program, because there's been a lot of flack about that. For example, the Greenway, Cameron Fisher and I talked, they took a break this year, which kind of was a good idea, and they're probably gonna come back with more requests, so it didn't become a stipend program.
I think they've been awarded every year for the past how many years?
I know, and this was, and I sit down and talked to Cameron about it, and he took a break because they're trying to pull together and finish the monies that they already have, because they're not through, and they have till March of next year, right, to finish those things. So, did that answer that
It
question?
did, thank you, I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
y'all are used to this, I'm not, so I apologize. What else?
That's all my questions.
Make sense?
So, Lori, did you find in the court order that it has to be capital projects? Right,
Yeah, that the county commission set up.
Right, but
court
not the
order.
court
I spoke
order.
out of turn, it's in the
Correct.
county commission
Right.
set up.
there's a big difference between our policy, which we can change, and the court order, which we would
Yeah,
obviously have to go
sorry, I
upstairs.
misspoke on that, it's not the court, it's the
Big
county
difference.
commission's directive, sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
So with City Fields, because United Way is, go back in a little history, they got their portion of it. I mean, they have their own policies and stuff like that.
Right.
So we can fund City Fields and without any issue. I understand, your concern, whatever, but the depreciation thing isn't a thing that we need to worry about.
I mean, I'm not disagreeing, but there's stuff that y'all gave us guidelines, that's what we're trying to follow. And that was in the guide.
You're good.
So anyway.
The Charleston, I do agree with that the county school board needs to take that up if there's a safety issue, and I chatted with the school board members on that one. But anyway, thank you, Paul.
Okay, is that,
Commissioner Alford, please.
Yes, Mr. Gordon.
Oh,
The
more-
Public Education Foundation Arnold School Playground, that was $135,000. What was that for, basically?
well, there's been a feeling that Arnold has become a pretty big community resource for that area. You know what I'm saying? It's used weekends and during the week. And so that was that's one of the ones that slid through the fastest of any of them, was funding the whole thing. And I was a little surprised, but it did. Everybody was highly in favor of that one. That's all I can tell you. That's
Was
what
just playground equipment, basically, was that what that was for?
Yeah, because the city and county superintendents will tell you that they don't fund playgrounds. If the school is built, they'll fund a playground, and they'll repair, if you break a swing, they'll fix it. But once they're done, I talked to Linda Cash, she said, we don't do that. Okay, that's strictly the PTO or the county. It's not in our budget, which y'all can discuss the county school budget, that's yay or nay, Mr. Alford. But anyway, I talked to her specifically, sit down and talk to her about funding that, and she said, nope, it won't get funded, it's not in there. And that was the same thing that happened with the other school requests. That's not in their budget.
Playground shade structure?
Yeah.
What was that?
Well, okay, that was another site visit, okay. Ms. Whitner, who's out at Candy's Creek, super nice lady, I went out there and explained to me what y'all are trying to do, okay? And they're trying to do two things, and the same thing I think was also at Waterville. They want an outside classroom where they get the kids outside, which when I was a kid, they just dumped us out, but they're a little more structured than when I was a kid 100 years ago. And then they said because school is almost year round and we start the 1st of August, there's several months there that they had kids that actually had to go to the school nurse because they were burned on the playground equipment and things like that. So, there was some controversy on funding shaded for kids, okay? Mostly from people that look like you and me, because we didn't have any shade when we were kids. But it got funded. I think the classroom part of it is what pushed it over. You know what I mean? It's doing that. And they're doing a lot of these STEM trail deal where they want to get them outside, and that's where that's coming from. So,
So
I'm sorry, please.
either last year or year before last, I think Michigan Avenue Playground had a pretty large request, did they not?
They did.
And it wasn't funded 100%, was it?
That's correct.
They were funded half or
No,
something?
not even half. It was 170, because I'm on that, the request was 170,000 and they got 25,000.
So I'm kind of surprised that Arnold is funded 100% when Michigan Avenue was not funded 100% last year or year before last.
I'm not disagreeing. I was just running a meeting, and buddy, it went through there fast.
Oh, we're all friends and family here.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I was sitting there thinking that that'd be a partial request or something, and that was a unanimous fund, that thing. So I thought, okay, I didn't grow up in Arnold School. I used to coach over kids, but I must have missed something. So,
But you're absolutely right. Arnold,
mean,
I'm sorry,
different,
Michigan
Lori,
Avenue
I mean,
was
it went through.
25,000
Big
for
old
that.
I mean, I'm
playground
telling you
over
guys,
there.
it was right
Jackie
through
Evans
there.
came in with the rest.
Big
Correct.
playground up
Freight
there.
train and gone.
That's all right. Commissioner Hughes.
Oh,
I was just wondering, I go by there quite often. They got a big playground out there already. I just wonder what kind of playground they're looking to build.
I don't know, I'd have to go back again. I'm gonna apologize on that.
I
have to go back and look at the
understand. I
thing
just-
again, cause it was a big request, and I got caught flat-footed on that one because I didn't think we'd fund anywhere near that. You know what I mean? So like the AEDs and all that, I was on top of, but that one, it went straight through.
I just think if we're gonna fund Michigan Avenue and Waterville and these others at a nominal fee,
Yep,
and they're
partial.
jumped out there, I just think we all give them basically all about the same. Where I am on it. Jeremy.
Well, or
All
I
right.
tried to even do it on a percentage basis, other than the low request. We had the $12,000 request. The others were kinda, but I don't disagree. I don't.
All right, Commissioner Collins.
I tend to agree with that. I like the idea of, I think skin in the game was used. I think that's a good practice to have. And just looking at the schools that were awarded, it was percentage for Michigan Avenue, for Candies Creek, for Waterville. I think you could look at even Hopewell. Hopewell has a $12,000 and they're funded fully. So you could look at the same thing if you wanted to be equitable. I agree with Commissioner Slater. I think it was 2 years ago for Michigan Avenue. And that created, a lot of skin in the game for Michigan Avenue as they were forced to, run a campaign with their PTO and raise a lot of money. That was,
Yeah.
substantial for them. So I would agree with the comments that are made for sure.
All right, so, yeah, and Paul Rotary helped out with it, Michigan Avenue.
Yes, I did.
So, all right,
on that too.
so let's go down the list here and we'll just basically, if we want to keep it or if we want to make any changes, or do you just want to open it up and whatever? So Hopewell Elementary, the request is, you don't have to stand there, you can sit down.
All right.
Hopewell, 12,190. And the recommendation, if we cut them, I hate using the word cut. If we, Finance Committee recommendation, if we're going to make an adjustment, where would we want to be on that? If we're going to go through percentages, then we got to do some calculations or, the
Get
floors,
Caleb or Ellen up here to work on math.
10,000, 9,000.
I think 10. I would make a motion for 10.
I have a motion from Commissioner Collins to do a finance recommendation for Hopewell for 10,000. Do I have a second? I have a second from Commissioner Alford. Any further discussion? Understand the motion? Very good. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Passes 5-0. So Hopewell, 10K. All right. Charleston Elementary, the 22,000, committee is recommending 0. Do we want to make any changes to Charleston? Do I have a motion? I have no motion. Fails for lack of a motion. Tri-State writing, 24,000. Committee is recommending 24,000. Do we want to make a change? Do I have a motion? I'm looking both ways twice, and I see it, so they will get funded at 24,000. Next one is Michigan Avenue School. They requested 25,000, and the committee is recommending 20,000. Do we wish to make a change? Do I have a motion to make that a change? I'm looking this way, looking this way. I don't see it, so they're gonna be at 20,000. Kansas Creek Elementary, they asked for 28,000, and the committee is recommending 20,000. Do I see, did anybody want to make a motion to change that? Looking both ways twice? Nope, so they'll stay with the committee's recommendation of 20,000. Going on to the next one, Karis, they're asking for $35,538, and the committee is recommending $35,538. Is there any recommendation to change that? Looking both ways. Oh,
Just a question, didn't we not give them a bunch of opioid money? John didn't give them anything.
yeah, we didn't get any milk.
Do we know how much they got last year, Miss Laura?
From HCI. I believe it was 35. Hang on just a second. Applicants, CARES, contract.
No.
They received $43,249, and we just executed a site visit 2 weeks ago, so their reimbursement's being processed.
Do we have any idea what they get from United Way?
Not off the top of my head, I do not.
Everybody knows?
I don't know the exact number, but that's one of their main,
Oh, they get a pretty
They
good
have-
chunk from United Way. Cindy, you
United Way is what kind of started CARES, right? It was Matt,
Correct.
yeah.
I don't know off the top of my head what it is.
Enhancing technology, that's kind of vague to a certain degree, but whatever. Does their application go into detail what technology they're going, a new X-ray machine or something? I can't hear you.
I think they updated Panorex and everything and all that last year. They had a problem with all that's done on computer now. This year was more, laboratory and stuff. It was pretty straightforward, and most of that they get, well, all of it would be capital expense to last more than a couple of years. And it also didn't involve a lot of training, which last year involved, they had to have money in there for training their staff, which I can tell you about. That's interesting.
All right,
But
Commissioner
this year
Offer,
was straightforward
Gotcha.
stuff.
Commissioner Offer, you want to do anything with this?
no, I got some more stuff. I'll wait.
Very good.
Get it all.
Commissioner Offer, I don't see anybody else, Commissioner Hughes, Commissioner Collins, Commissioner Slater. So they will stay at $35,530. They are so lucky. So I come $35,531. Kidding. All right, City Fields. They asked for 40,000 and they're getting 11,900 per, or not getting it. That's the committee's recommendation. Is there anyone who would like to do anything with City Fields? Full disclosure, Commissioner Slater and I are on that board. Looking over here and look over here, you want to do anything on there? All right. $11,900 for City Fields. Waterville Elementary outdoor classroom, they asked for 40,000 and the HCI committee is recommending 30,000. Do we want to make an edit or change to that one? Commissioner Alford?
I guess more of a question, you looked at Hopewell outdoor classroom, same concept, I guess, and you got Waterville outdoor classroom, one's 30,000, the other's only 12,000. What's the big difference between an outdoor classroom? What's the cost of these two places? There's two big difference there in the cost.
Is it location? Paul, you have to come out to the microphone. Remember, we got millions of people watching.
Yeah, the Waterville deal is much more of a, I'm gonna call it a STEM trail. So there's a lot more stations involved than a stationary one-spot outdoor classroom. So their request was more elaborate, but it had a lot more to do with it. That's the difference in the cost.
Well, I was just looking at where it's titled here, though, it kind of looks odd.
Looks as, I know, you got, when you dig in the application, there's a lot more there. I'm gonna call it a STEM trail and the other a STEM classroom.
Okay.
Is the difference, okay? And I don't know if that's the best way to describe it, but
Yeah, I'm just going on y'all's
yes.
opinion, I guess, because I don't have them in front of me, so that's
Well,
good.
the whole concept's a little different than you and me, you know. I mean, our outside classroom was they threw us out of school and said, get out of here for a
All
while.
right, let's go.
But, you know, it's a
Come on,
different
Commissioner
concept.
Alford.
I understand, but we read it thoroughly, trust me.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, do we want to do anything with Waterville, Mr. Commissioner Alford, or are we good
No,
with it?
I'm
All right, so they're gonna get 30,000. All right, moving on to the next one, Bradley County Fire AEDs, they requested 43,400 and the committee recommended 43,400. I can, nothing on that one. They're gonna get 43,400. Moving on to the next one, Bradley County Health Department, dental expansion and renewal, 78,000 and the the HCI committee recommended 0. Anybody want to make an adjustment on that? Mayor, you work with them quite a bit over there at the health department. Did this request,
I don't disagree with what he said, but they should have done a little better job of applying, I guess. At least that's the discussions I've had, but they, I think, intend to come back next year and do it the right way.
all right. So we'll go with that recommendation. Everybody good on the committee with that? Very good. Next one is Life Bridges. They requested $91,196 and the HCI committee is recommending $91,196. Anybody wish to make an adjustment on that? Seeing none, we'll put 91,190 on there. Next one is Boys and Girls Club. They requested 100,000 and the HCI committee is recommending 50,000, so it's a half off. Any commissioner on the finance committee wish to make an adjustment on that? Look both ways twice, and I see no, so we'll do 50,000 on there. The museum, they request $107,733.40, and the HCI committee recommended 0. This is the one where you said that their application, they just said,
I mean, we couldn't, there was no even a motion made to accept, to
right.
discuss this.
Well,
because-
whether you had a motion or not, I mean, their application is what I want.
Yeah, I mean, they were accepted on the initial, okay, because we accepted basically all of them. But when it came down to it, no one could figure out how this was health and wellness, which is our marching orders. In the past, they had made a much better justification, if you want to call it that.
And
So we'll get to that in a bit because we did change the policy, and I distinctly remember because we did not want a situation where someone got, usually since September, I think is when that first cut happens.
Letter of
And-
intent.
Letter of intent, thank you. So if they were not fitting the health, wellness, quality of life, they got told right up front, so that come here in December or whatever, because we did have that happen in the past. And it was, so I know we changed that policy, so we'll deal with that later time. But for right now, I haven't seen the application, but the HCI committee is recommending 0 based off of that. So the committee wants to do anything, Mayor, you,
can I say something on that?
please.
I think it could be rationalized as quality of life. It would help Bradley County if you funded it some, because we're gonna have that in our request next year. And I would much rather see it come out of HCI if you can rationalize it meeting your criteria.
Okay, can we circle back to this one though, because with this next one is gonna have some conversation as well.
Okay.
I just happen to know that. Arnold School, so we're gonna circle back to the museum. Arnold School requested 135,000, and the HCI committee is recommending full funding of 135,000. Does anybody wish to do anything with this one?
I think we need to think about it a little bit.
I
If you look at what we're doing to these other schools, we're not giving them anywhere near. and-
So one of my ideas is, to take that and make that adjustment. And I'll start off, and it's not where we have to land, 135,000. If you go from the percentages of these others, and they're basically I won't say a playground's a playground, but the percentages that they requested and the percentages that of the total that the committee recommending, if you take that same amount, that would put them at about 100,000, about 4 times. So my recommendation is to fund them at 100,000. So we'll start the conversation. Not this is an auction, but Commissioner Alford, that's my recommendation. Commissioner Hughes, Commissioner Collins, Commissioner Slater, your thoughts?
I'm fine with that.
Commissioner Collins, Commissioner Hughes? Yeah. Mr. Hughes?
Just one question. What all are they planning on putting on this, or on the playground? I mean, what, is it a complete new expansion or what?
Oh, please, Lori.
As I understand it, and this is reading directly from their application, that Arnold Elementary Historic School, serving over 300 diverse K through 5 students, seeks funding to revitalize its 30-year-old playground. This project will provide safe, inclusive, and accessible play spaces that meet state recess requirements, improve neighborhood wellness, and create a central community hub. Featuring bilingual signage, adaptive equipment, and walkable access, the playground will promote health, social connection, and enjoyment for families, especially those who are economically disadvantaged and the minority demographic, or those who are without dependable or available transportation.
Thank you. Mr. Hughes?
I'm probably gonna be crucified here, but I think 80,000 would be perfect for what they're asking for. They're gonna have other equipment that they'll be using, just revitalizing some new.
80,000? Okay. Commissioner Alford, Commissioner Collins, Commissioner Slater, Commissioner Hughes would like to do with 80,000.
What's half of 135, Caleb?
79.
How much?
675.
I agree with Mr. Hughes. I think we need to go with 80.
All right, Commissioner Hughes, if you'll put that in a motion, we'll
Put 80,000 in form of a motion.
we'll have a motion from Commissioner Hughes to fund, Arnold School Playground at 80,000. Do I have a second? I have a second from Commissioner Alford. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Passes 5-0. So that goes down to 80,000. So 135 minus
55.
55.
that's 55. Thank you, Commissioner Collins. There we go. I have to write a Python program to do that. All right. All right, back to the museum, Mayor. So that's why I did that.
And an easy fix there, if you would take that to 55 and the 2,190 you took off of Hopewell and add that together and give that to the museum. It is for capital, and I think it would be quality of life, and it would help at budget time. The city has participated. They challenged us. I told them I wasn't going to be part of that, but so they're doing theirs. But we could consider this our part.
Mr. Hughes.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make that motion.
We have a motion from
57.
Commissioner Hughes that the savings from Arnold Elementary and, I wouldn't call it savings, the adjustments, from Hopewell will be allocated to the museum, and that will put them at
It's $57,190.36.
Thank you, Commissioner Collins. You got that number, Lori?
57,190.
And
36.
36.
30 cents.
All right. And that still gives us the,
I'll second that motion.
we have a second from Commissioner Slater. Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Passes 5-0. So that puts the savings, or I guess the variance between what they had to grant out and there. So the payoff of the amendment that we had should be easy to do now. And actually, there's going to be a little bit more, but very good. So Lori, you'll help me out and get this.
What was the price on the, museum center again? 190?
You gonna cut the 36 cents? All right. That passes. Lori, if you'll have that ready for me tonight, I'd be forever in your debt. Not really. All right, that takes care of that. And going to our agenda. And we are at, what is it,
12:30.
12:30. This is gonna be your Christmas gift here. So I had all of the art documents ready. So we can move that to January, so we can get our over under or whatever. So Laura, if you will move that agenda item to the January Finance Committee, I'll still be forever in your debt.
And, Mr. Chairman, if I could, just for your FYI, on the community services shelter thing that you all approved me paying out our amount, we're tracking that as they do their monthly costs on their operations, but we have paid 44,000, so we only have about 50,000 left, and that should be paid out by February or March.
All right.
So that will, once that's done, that will complete the affordable housing bucket.
All right.
And on the public water, you're not gonna like this, Mr. Chairman, but Crystal has said we can't rationalize far enough to switch the Ocoee utility money to sheriff's project.
She's wrong.
We have a contract with the federal government that it will be used for whatever, and she says it's too far for her to agree to go to on that. I'll let her tell you, but so she's suggesting that the easiest and best thing to do would be the Hiawassee Utilities, just to complete that bucket. Everybody know what I'm talking about?
No, Mayor,
Ocoee.
I didn't. Let me do this. If everybody will bring up this little spreadsheet right here. If you'll go down to Ocoee Utility District, $110,897.09. We awarded that amount to Ocoee Utilities for water projects, I believe, in the 6th district. Anyway, their board of directors met and basically wrote the mayor and us back saying that they cannot do the projects. They've got, for whatever reason, they voted on it and sent us communication saying that they are not going to use the money. So basically it became available. What the mayor and I is talking about is, you guys remember that Sheriff Lawson has some issues out the jail that needed to be done with, was it sewer? Something like that. And I recommended that use some of that. I think it was a $20,000 recommendation, right? Use that 20,000. So you got the 110,000 or 111. Use 20,000 of that because I thought it would have fit very perfectly in there. And talking about saving money out of the budget because it's going to have to be done.
I agree. I would love to do it, but
And
you
it-
got to keep in mind the difference is things in these buckets had to have a contract in place that they would be spent for a certain purpose and with a certain vendor. And moving it from one utility to another utility for a very similar purpose is a much easier amendment. It's just amending the contract, so to speak. Because we have, you follow me, we have contracts with the federal government on the buckets. Now, when you get out of the buckets, we don't have, but this water bucket, we do. We had to have contracts in place as of December 31st of '24. And the contract is with a utility for a water project. She says we can amend it to a different utility and a different water project. And the quickest, easiest one would be the Hiwassee Utilities. They're fixing to spend their 400 come first quarter of '26, and they could just add this to theirs with an amendment. I agree with what you're saying, but it's just a little bit farther stretch because of that contract that's in place.
So that's what that's about. But we'll take this up in January then.
And you might want to ask the attorney, because she hasn't given it to you in writing yet, if you want her to or however. But the last word I got on it is an amendment with changing from Ocoee Utilities to Hiwassee Utilities would be the simplest, less questionable thing to do.
So the rest of this these are open POs that Caleb has sent over to me, or we get, I guess from Emily, right? And then the other thing here is the budget for Fund 128. And then the other thing real quick, I said I wasn't gonna do this, but I'm gonna do it anyway. You see right here on this page right here, the 22,107, that is about the amount, and we've been tracking it, Lori and I have been tracking it. That is about the amount of interest that we're getting per month now off of the principal in the 128 fund. So it was at the beginning of the year in 2020, back in January, February, if you go back, it was about 65, 70,000. But we've obviously paid some big bills, so to speak. And now, because I think they do monthly or 3-month CDs, and they got it layered. So that 22,000, and then the other part of it, Mayor, was that your budget projection on interest was 300,000. That's gonna be tough to make with 22,000.
Yeah, right now, it's looking more like, and of course, we didn't know when the payouts were going to occur. That's one reason I'm not pushing a couple of them any harder than I am, because leave it there. But I am telling them they need to get it spent in early '26. So we just roughly guessed at 300 based on what was in the bank at the time, and it looks now like it's going to be more like 200 or 240. But
And on that spreadsheet right there, if you're looking at this one, just so you know, that EEP, that's Adam, that's your ambulance for EMS. And that should be, that's already on order.
yeah,
So sometime
that'll
this
be
month.
another
So
big
that- so-
expense when that one comes
So
in.
that amount will come off of the PO.
Right.
Right, but we'll talk about the POs and the rest of it in January, and we'll have it. The main thing is that when we get ready, I mean, obviously, we're coming to the end of the ARP money. By the end of '26, our goal was not to have to send a dime back to the U.S. Treasury, spend every penny of it, but obviously, don't overspend is what I'm trying to say.
And to recap now, we have ARP money, but the part we have to spend or not send back is your original 6 buckets. The 110 on Ocoee Utilities, if we get that addressed and they spend it first quarter, we're okay. The community services is down to about 50,000. That'll get spent first quarter, so that bucket's done. The only thing at that point that will be left is your broadband money to meet our $21 million expenditure and not have to send any back. Because this other money, we can stretch it out as long as we want to, when you go to the interest bucket and so forth. But all that will be left is the broadband money, and that one's getting close because we've got a year on it. But they've spent a lot of one of them. The other one's supposed to be spent in early '26. And then the other one is one that we're going to probably change somewhat, and it'll be a 50-50 match because they got the grant. I've told you this before. They got the grant in their name, and we'll use the amount that's in that box to do our match on it. It's not required in the grant, but we will honor that and use that. So that'll get it spent out as soon as they can spend that money, and it'll be sometime in '26, they've assured me. So that will get rid of our commitment to the federal government at that point. All that makes sense.
It does, and it'll be a good conversation in January. So, I think that is it. Other business? Nothing on there? Oh, Commissioner Slater, please.
So a couple of weeks ago during the fire committee meeting, I was not able to attend that meeting, but I have since gone back and watched their presentation. I think the fire department provided a detailed list of outlining priorities for improvement, including pay adjustments and equipment upgrades that they would like to see for next year over the course of the next couple of years. And as we begin 2026 budget preparations, I would like for us to consider potential pathways to address some of these needs that they have. I know it's going to be, I'm sure, a tough year next year again, but I do request that we begin talking about how we can meet some of the needs that they have, not only our fire department, but EMS and the sheriff's department also. Whether it's some type of a progression, if it's whatever it looks like, that we can help start trying to look at addressing some of these needs.
Very good. Anything else on other business? All right, I have to look at this because the thing won't turn. Communication from the audience. Come on, Alan. This is your chance. Nothing from communication from the audience. All right, that gets us to the next meeting will be January 5th, 2026, 11:30. If there's nothing else, I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, and we'll see you next year. Thank you.